gentlemen, start your engines.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to DSR Electric Truck Series at the Circuit of the Americas, the ButtKicker 175. I'm Steve Bartlett. Wesley Outland will be joining us later, and of course, Dean Biggles on the production desk this evening. Looking for should be a fairly decent, clean race. These road courses usually are. They'll get spread out, and the biggest impact will be on the restarts, into stages, and on the start itself.
That's right. Good evening. Of course, I'll be joining you in the booth until, I'll be here doing the production, but I'll be joining you in the commentary until Wesley, who's going to be running a little bit late this evening, but he will be arriving whenever he can. We do have qualifying's over and done with here at the Circuit of the Americas, my friend. So it's time to go over that grid to see who's going to be starting on pole.
All right, on the pole, no big surprise, Colin Weatherholt in that first spot in the 11. Kerry Chabu in second in the number 7. Second row is Jonathan Cofield, Adam Newton. Third row, you got Stephen Thomas, Andrew Harris. Row 4, Tyler Goodwin, Bo Tiffany. Row 5, Justin White, Brady LaBeouf. Row 6, Jason Morales and James Kaufman. Row 7, Tyler Dittmer, Chris Sitteman. Row 8, Nate Maurer, Taylor Peacock. Row 9, Ron Morris Jr., Jacob Reeves, the redneck announcer. Row 10, Phil Pappas and Cole Hendrickson. Row 11 is Justin Lumpkin and Jeffrey Johnson. Row 12 is Craig Schroeder and Joey Stiers. And then we have in row 13, Christopher McCullough, Robert Richards. And row 14, Brandon Bullock, Stephen Gregory. Row 15, Brian Chu, Fred Lester. And in the last spot, Raul Meza in that 31st spot, TJ Moore and Cody Knott will be your race control this evening. And the pace truck is off. Come around this final corner to the start-finish line.
Yeah, so it's turn left and turn right here, and climbing it up into turn 1 is an overtaken opportunity, so drivers should be well aware of it. That pace car peels into pit road. And then it's time to go racing here in Austin, Texas, the music capital of the world. And these cars are certainly going to be screaming around here. Green flag, here we go.
And they're off. Colin Weatherholt in the lead. Kerry Chabu on his outside as they enter turn 1. 3 wide into turn 1 with Jonathan Cofield, Adam Newton, and Andrew Harris. Everybody looks like they're going to get through okay as they start going into turn 2.
I think Phil Pappas said Craig Schnauder has had a little bit of a moment at the back there, but so far so good. They're going to climb their way through the S's here. As you're going to see them, watch out for those little stoppers there on the road too. They will lift even these heavy trucks up into the air, no problems. I've seen every sort of motorsport car go everywhere and except onto the track when you hit them. But so far so good, Colin Weatherholt. And we will go over, of course, in a second as well too. Welcome everybody. A little bit of delayed start to the broadcast, but not a delayed start to the race. We've got the playoffs as well too, remember, so we will show you what obviously the drivers that are on the yellow indicating behind the names are the ones that have got more points in the playoffs than the ones on the red on the cutoff line.
So the ones on the yellow strips, as Dean said, they are just about locked in to the next round, unless you're down there in like around, I think it's 12, 11, then you still might have a chance. The red guys, they're on the bubble. So we'll be watching that tonight as everybody stretches out single file. Colin Weatherholt coming at you in this turn here with about 4 or 5 turns left before they come back to the start-finish line. We were here a few weeks ago in the, I believe it was the Xfinity cars. It was a pretty decent race. Really no cautions, as you remember. On iRacing, when cautions are thrown, it's usually for a section of the track, not the whole track like in NASCAR. So we'll have some sections that'll go caution, but the rest of it should stay green.
At the moment, Jonathan Caulfield on the back there of Kerry. That's a nice battle. That's bring actually Collins up the road by 2 seconds change. You can see him when the pitches get scared of rating to start another lap around here. So that's quite a bit. But that's Colin doing his best, loving road courses. Here is your stage details at the moment too. So stage 1, we'll go to lap 10. So we'll have a caution. We'll have stay green, lap 25. And of course, we'll run it all the way to lap 40. 4 sets of tyres, sorry, as you said, including the sets that are on there. Fuel capacity 85%, but they'll take an opportunity to get a pit road anyway, right down that stage break, and 3 green-white attempts if required. Generally, on a road course, you shouldn't have to require that, but you never know, my friend. You never know.
Yeah, we shouldn't have any green flag. Well, I shouldn't say green flag pit stops, but we shouldn't really have any pit stops other than the stages if the drivers choose to go in at that time, as the pit window is about every 17 laps. We got the number 3, Chris Cinnamon, losing it.
Yeah, the Spice Man having a little bit of a moment, dropping all the way back to P21 with the man that is in the number 3 machine, who is crucial because Chris Cinnamon as well too is in the cutoff, my friend, when it comes to the playoffs. In fact, like most of the drivers. Real quickly, we'll go over that just to show you everybody how it is all standing here at the moment, as you can see in the Sweet 20. So Colin, as you can currently see, is on the bubble. So Chris Simon, he's also on the bubble. You can see down the bottom as well too. So a few drivers here have got a lot to play for, but the man leading this race, looking good to secure his Fast 14 hopes and chances.
We continue to watch these guys. Colin Weatherholt pulling out to a decent lead of about 3.5 seconds already. Remember the last time we were here in the Xfinity Series, he had a big lead by the end of this race and easily won it.
He's loving the road courses at the moment because there's 3 seconds to change up the road. A few battles going on at the moment in the background there. Taylor Peacock and Jason Morales going for it. In fact, Jason Morales has had to lift off the gas a little bit, so I wonder if he's had a little bit of a moment. I don't see anything on race control messages, but under a bit of pressure now from Cole, the number 10 machine. Now, still notorious to go through some of the sections around here in sector 3. You can see a little bit of a lockup up the road, and we're going to have 3 abreast coming around here into the final couple of corners. Swinging it over to the left there, gentlemen. That's Taylor Peacock up the road as well. And the boss man, Brady Loboff, he's putting a bit of pressure on the back of Cole's machine, number 10. Start another lap around Second Americas here in Austin, Texas.
Coming across the start-finish line, Cole Henderson's got that pretty big lead, followed by Gary Tribune.
Oh, spin! That's James Kaufman coming together there with, I'm not sure if it was Phil Pappas or not, but you can see at the top of the hill, there's opportunities to try to make an overtake, and you've got to really muscle your way and have a look. They climb their way up. That's pretty far back out to say for Mr. Kaufman. No, it wasn't actually. Who was that on the inside that's come in? Last of the late breakers there and tagged.
The 4.
Was that, no, it wasn't. Yeah, that's
Tyler
number 4.
Dittmer.
Yeah, Tyler Dittmer. So that's, well, it can catch you off guard. You can get overtaken opportunities, but you could say it's a $8 short on that one. And it certainly did catch Mr. Kaufman off guard.
So right now, your top 5 in the lead, of course, is Colin Weatherholt, 3.8 seconds now ahead of Kerry Tribune, followed by Jonathan Caulfield, Adam Newton, Stephen Thomas, Bo Tiffany, Andrew Harris, Tyler Goodwin, Justin White, and Tyler Dittmer in the top 10 as things are starting to get a little interesting here with Taylor Peacock, Brady LaBeouf, and Phil Pappas in the 88.
Taylor Peacock slowing quite a bit down, actually, into that corner. Compromised a little bit. Tell you one thing, one person that's loving this track at the moment in Coda, Stephen Gregory. Not a very good qualifying performance, but he's up 12 in the race currently at the moment for 61. Sends it up the inside, should get the good exit out of there as Taylor Peacock completely runs wide. Not liking the setup that he has on that truck at the moment here. He's back to where he started this race, so he made a few. Only got some damage. It looks like Brady's come together as Stephen Gregory uses up as much of the track as possible here. Let's have a look at Brady LaBeouf. This is further up Raul Meza. I think that might just be a little indication that there's sometimes they run really wide. No, he's going around. Oh, the boss man. And hopefully, yes, nobody's come together. He's just waited for the right time to do the old spinner in my phone.
Yeah, that early in the turn usually means that he hit the brake a little too hard and trying to turn and got loose, spun himself out. As we look at Brandon Bullock in the 17 going by.
Further up the field, there's a little bit of battle between Justin White and Tyler Goodwin. And they can just see Andrew Harris up the road. They're going to make their way through the S's at the moment coming up, so which is very, very tricky to overtake, and it's very, very tricky to get it right too, because you want to just straight as possible. That's just as simple as that, how you take any S's in any car anywhere in the world of racing. And that was a good line that Justin White took through there. In fact, see the exit speed that he's got. He's starting to slowly catch up. The 13's way off the racing line. Tyler Goodman there. You've got to use as much of the track as possible, but of course these are heavy trucks. They are sliding. You can see slicing up through the inside apron. Justin White gets a good exit as well. So he's compromised a little bit of the entry speed. It should be getting up to full speed here. And then you've got a sharp left-handed corner on a hairpin. You can see on the top of the map, this is the tightest corner. And this is when you can get a little bit of elbows out. Of course, Justin White does, but Tyler Goodwin did cover off the place there and kept on the power as he goes down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I struggle on these road courses. I haven't quite figured out my turns quite yet, trying to reach that apex in the right spot to maintain as straight a line as possible, as you were just talking about. It's actually kind of difficult to do if you're not used to it, especially in these NASCAR trucks and cars. You know, being heavy, they're not, they don't break easy, and they're hard to turn on these road courses.
Yeah, it's a whole different kettle of fish than taking any other cars and stuff like that around here. Trucks and cars and all sorts of things. You've got to get used to your braking. Of course, the drivers are maximizing their gear shifts as well too. You're going all the way up down through the gears as well. Oh, and that's interesting for Jeffrey Johnson. You could just see he got on the power, and that's the rear just completely slipped out on him. So that's again, that just mirrors exactly what you just said there, Steve. How difficult these are to drive.
Yeah, joining us in the booth is Jason Morales. Jason, what happened?
Oh, you know, I had damn equipment malfunction here. Sorry, beep it out.
Sorry, I
throttle
can't
got
that,
yeah, throttle got stuck. They kept getting stuck around the track. I just didn't want to put guys in a worse spot. So you know what happens.
Let's have a look at the replay at the moment there to see what happened there, Jason.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit back further than that. You know, I got into turn one and wound up getting into 57. Feel horrible for him. You know, he was coming up from the back, and throttle just stuck. Kept sticking. You see me keep going on the track, and just the throttle wouldn't unengage as I'm getting into turns.
And you pulled off a retirement for technical fault of the car, unfortunately. But and how was your thoughts of Coda like going into this?
You know, I love Coda. Coda's a extremely technical track, right? There's a ton of turns, a ton of speed, and you know, and you see it as you see these guys going around. It's so easy to overdrive the turns. You know, you're going to see it over and over again.
We just saw Taylor Peacock actually just having a little bit of a mistake coming out of the S's actually. So yeah, and that's scrubbed a lot of speed. He's got to drop like a stone at the moment, as you can see, the number 81 truck.
Yeah, and even for the guys that are fast like Colin and Kerry, you know, you're losing almost a second a lap with these tires. There's just so much tire wear.
Colin Weatherholt, your race leader, is now at a 6 1/4 second now ahead of Kerry Chabu. Jonathan Colefield is another 4 seconds behind him. Adam Newton is 7 seconds now back. Colin Weatherholt. Colin, just as he did this last race, last time we were here, jumping out to the big lead and spreading it wide open as he goes along. A little bit of wiggle there by Pappas coming around that corner.
Tyler it was, I think, actually. A little loosey-goosey on the rear there. Steve?
Oh, okay.
As there is our race leader at the moment by a margin of 6 seconds. It's quite a bit, just comfortable with this. We're just for a second kind of right on board. And Jason, you've been doing some laps around here in practice, qualifying and the race, but unfortunately due to retirement, Tell us how smooth it is and give us a little hot lap per se.
Yeah, so the section you just seen Colin come out of, man, that is the hardest section to nail here, and he is just so smooth. You see him just coming through and just missing those turtle shells, and here you're coming through full speed in third, downshifting right about here, coming down into second, down into first. You really want to hit this apex so you can get a good launch out. Then here you're you're ripping up through the gears, and you see there's not a whole lot of wheel movement. Colin is smooth, and this is a hard corner to judge. You're carrying a ton of speed. You're somewhere around 165 mile an hour when you get to your braking point, which you see him start braking there. Hard left-hand turn, trying to stay nice and tight here. He does a good job, and then again, it's such a it's just a tight technical track. It's really fun to watch a guy like this. It's amazing. You'll go back and you'll watch his replay from inside the cockpit and try to do what he does. It's just, I don't know how he does it.
And Steve, have a look at this, a little bit of a nice battle that's brewing here into the hairpin, of course, and that's going to start you off. It's important to get a good exit out of the hairpin there because you've got this long back straight. It's the longest straight actually in Coda, apart from then you've got the main straight. So, and then you get into the heavy braking zone, which has overtaken opportunities here as well too. So that turn before for the hairpin, and then overtaken opportunities here, which you can see up the road there. That's Brady Leboff and Chris Cinnamon. And last of the late breakers can't hook it up in time then, unfortunately, wow. And that's what happens. Doesn't it catch you off guard? And look at this gaggle of cars that we have currently at the moment, all squabbling for P15.
Yeah, and that turn right there that he went off the track, that's a really hard turn to make a pass.
Yeah, it's a hairpin. You've got to, it's all about getting the entrance and exit. A lot of people are really going wide out there. In Formula One, that's where the majority of the overtakes are done. Same with open wheel and stuff like that too. So most categories, but it is difficult for sure. Turn 1 as well, too, up the hill. It's also a notorious overtaking opportunity. This track has good overtaking opportunities. It also has many of those moments with those S's and stuff like that, and also in Sector 3 that some of the drivers are going through now. That's also a difficult place to keep it on the road.
And these guys, when one person makes a little mistake like that, everybody behind him gets all bunched up, and then they're fighting for that position. And they've kind of settled down a little bit. Still got a little bit of a battle here between Joey Steers, and I believe that's, can't see the car number in front of him.
Nate Maurer.
And they're starting to single out now also.
Now, notice what's happening too, gentlemen, that you see it. Some of the, you see these marbles or something like just appear or something out of nowhere. What that's happening is that it seems to be when one of the trucks is appearing and disappearing there for a second due to connection issues. As soon as it reappears, it throws away some marbles and stuff. I believe that that's probably, hopefully, not happening to the drivers. I'm not quite sure if it is happening to them. But they have to be careful because it might throw you off a little bit. I've never seen that before. Generally, where trucks disappear and disappear, that's just, they're right back to where they were. But throwing up stuff on the track, that's interesting.
Yeah, and you can't see that from your cockpit, and it is it's a little concerning, right?
Oh, you can see it?
Especially.
You can?
Oh
well?
yeah, you
Okay.
can see it. It's a little something different to see.
Yeah, sometimes I some things that we get in spectator mode aren't always exactly where you guys get as drivers. Certainly down pit road and stuff, we don't see your lollipop people and things like that. But that's interesting to know. That's what I was asking you. Further up, Brady LeBoff, you can see on this picture, this is still the hot zone at the moment. There's a few action happening up the road there with 7th, 8th. This is something I wanted to elaborate as well too, Jason, while we quickly can go over it for a second with this points standings. So this week we have the likes of Chris Cinnamon, who was in the up in the white zone last week. He's dropped down into the red zone. Is that because I don't think he was? You said Stevie wasn't racing last week. Is that correct? Or was it Cole?
Yeah, I believe Chris wasn't here last week. I don't remember him being here,
and that pushes him down into
the reason for the drop.
To the drop zone now. Right, and Raul Mazda is, of course, up there now, so you can elaborate to everybody. This is it. That drop zone right now is going to eliminate everybody to the fast 14, won't it?
Yeah, they'll get dropped out whenever they go down to the fast 14 here in the next race or two.
I believe it's the next race. Is that right? Jason, this is the last race that we have for our.
Yep. Next race should be the cut race, right? It was Chicagoland
Yes.
here, and I can't recall where we're at next. Richmond next week.
And there's a blink again from Christopher as he reappears into the corner, which is one of the worst places. Unfortunately, nothing he can do about it. But to everybody else, they don't know where he is. Now, it's a little bit different, obviously, in your ovals. If somebody blinks for a second, you're all holding station, really, aren't you? Side by side, forwards and backwards together, hugged. But the biggest difference, of course, when somebody is blinking, it's very, very difficult on a road course because of the fact that you're trying to judge your braking point, and all of a sudden you don't see the car anymore. Definitely throws it off. Usually, sometimes you find race directors might end up showing on the black and white flag or something like that, saying, you know, if you start blinking too much, we're going to have to pull off and set the drive-through or something.
Although I will have to say, because I experienced this last night in the other league that I race in, when somebody blinks, he was out for like 20 seconds. He was blinked out for quite a while, and all of a sudden he popped up in front of me, and unfortunately I put him in the wall. Nothing really happened to my car. I was able to keep going, but he ended up killing his race because of it.
Yeah, we have a race control. I'm sure they'll be looking at that as well. Is that right, Jason?
Yep. Oh yeah. TJ does a good job of keeping an eye on all those things here. So, a guy I want to highlight here is Cole Hendrickson. He wasn't able to qualify for EOL issues last week, and so he was started at the back of the field. He's all the way up to 10th.
Yeah. That's exactly right. He's doing a good job. I was trying to find him on there. So that's very, very important to get some crucial points for these drivers. A lot of them, both Tiffany, Stephen Gregory as well too.
Yeah, and again, you showed those playoff standings there, and I believe it was Chris Cinnamon and Cole were right there next to each other. So Cole's in a position to get that one stage point, and Chris is not, right? So you look at how close that's going to be.
Yep. You called it, gentlemen, as we're coming down to the penultimate lap for our stage details. As we go back over to that, you can see the race details at the moment. Very, very soon. Where's Cole? You look at, he's coming through the hairpin now. We're on lap 10. He'll do lap 10 will be our stage break once he comes to it. Of course, once he completes the lap, should be a then caution flag. Then you'll have to go all the way back around, won't you, to hit pit road.
Yeah, Colin's currently in that backstretch, getting ready to hit the brakes for that turn at the end of it. He currently has almost a 12-second lead now ahead of Kerry Tribute. And behind Kerry, Jonathan Cofield, Adam Newton, Stephen Thomas, the top five, as they're getting ready to come around and get the yellow flag for the end of stage one here as soon as Colin comes around and crosses that start-finish line.
Yeah, comfortably 11 seconds. Now, the only downside with that, of course, is that Colin will get the stage break, but obviously all that hard work's done. That'll be all backed up to each other and back out to restart the race after we'll have this caution in a minute. But, he's still going to be in the prime position, hopefully, if he doesn't make any mistakes in the pit road and stuff like that. Still be clearly in a prime position to redo them, restack them, and redo it all over again. And I think Colin's going to be pretty good to cover off into turn one, which you see coming up right now. You can see the huge elevation change. It's massive, but that's why it's very, very difficult for drivers to judge their braking point.
Yeah.
It's almost blind when you get up there to the top, as you can see here, there. Believe it or not, the braking markers are on the fence on the right-hand side, and they're also very hard to see.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because it is interesting coming up that hill into turn one, especially when you got a bunch of cars around you.
Luckily, too.
So Colin Holt, Weather Holt will win the stage, followed by Kerry Tribute, Jonathan Cofield, Adam Newton, and Stephen Thomas just crossed the start-finish line. Next up will be Phil Pappas, and then Justin White, Andrew Harris, Tyler Goodwin, and Cole Hendrickson. And that should throw out the caution flag now anytime now.
Yeah, I believe it's across the line. I'm not sure. You can see the big elevation. It is okay. You can see the big in the background there. That's a big observation tower. It's quite nice. You can see the whole track from up there. If you do get a chance.
It's typically gonna be when 10th place crosses the line. That's when it gets thrown.
Okay, so there's Andrew Harris currently at the moment. They're going through the S's. They've already passed the line actually.
Yeah. I think it's going to be at the end of lap 10.
Yeah, at the end of lap 10.
When they do this, because it should have come out by now.
Yep. You can see he's got nobody around. Poor Colin Weatherholt's probably sitting there going, did my iRacing crash and there's nobody else on the track at the moment, just me? No, he'll be able to see some lap traffic coming up soon, but he will have to see the the caution flag first to get that stage, which I'm sure you guys will be able to go and grab him too once he does his pit stops. Well, we might have another lap to go around to do a pit stop, so we'll probably be able to squeeze a commercial break in after he clears the stage break.
Yeah, they'll want to come in, get the top off on fuel, get some tires, and this time around, I'm sure.
Oh, you have to. It's a caution pit stop. You don't want to be doing it under green flag conditions because even though he had that lead of 13 seconds, that pit stop's going to cost you a lot more than 13 seconds. So even with that gap he would have. So here it is. So that's stage break done for Colin, and definitely on his way to secure himself the stage win, of course, and definitely get himself through the next round. I'd say now, wouldn't that be, Jason? Like with the stage win, should be well enough points.
Yeah, he should be sitting pretty nice. He's had such a great season, a lot of points accumulated, so that probably locks him in.
Kerry, this is good for Kerry. If you could see, Kerry's on the red in that timing tower, and that's crucial for him because that means it's on the cusp line of being eliminated, and that's just security of a whole bunch. Jonathan Caulfield's not in the playoffs, but they're still allowed, of course, out there to race, to have some fun. And then you got the rest of the likes there, Adam Newton, Thomas, Pappas, White, and all that sort of stuff as well, too. The crucial points for them that continue as well. Gregory and Tiffany. That's good for Gregory as well. Stephen Gregory, isn't it? 17 positions gained, I'd have to say. And Phil Pappas getting 13 positions, so very, very good for them. We'll take a short break, and we'll get back with the drivers and the action after stage one. Don't go anywhere.
For Murph's Magical Creations, home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Cinnamon completely stopped on the track there for a second, and now he's resumed. As they've all bunched up, they'll all be heading the pit road. Colin Winterholt's got the stage win done. Jason Morales is in the commentary box with Steve the Viking here, and Wesley will be joining us very soon. Thank you very much, too, for filling in, Jason. Before Wesley will pop in soon, any tips and pointers, or who you also mentioned some of the drivers out here looking good too, aren't you, to potentially get themselves through the next round?
Yeah, there's a there's a handful of guys that are they're just good, on these road courses, and you're seeing them at the front. Collins obviously, class of his own, but Kerry can hold his own. So it'd be interesting to see if this is a big pit stop if they've not done them already. But being able to get there, and if he can. If I'm Kerry, and I'm on the outside looking in, I might be putting the bumper to Weatherholt. It's the closest you're going to get to him, right? I mean, hate to say it, he's my driver, but it's if you're Kerry, you're on the outside looking in. It could be an interesting restart.
What do you think about short filling or not taking tyres at this point? Because you could jump a lot of drivers in the pit road. They're all going to come in. So we got 29 drivers in pit road at once. If you elect to do something a bit short, only take one sets of tyres or something like that, or a little bit less of gas, and you've got track position.
Yeah, the problem is these tires. I mean, they're smoked at this point. You know, after 5 laps alone, I mean, you've really burned these things up as much speed as you carry around this track. So, you know, you'd really be putting yourself in a pretty bad spot if you didn't take tires there. I'd be really surprised if somebody didn't take tires there.
Or can you take half? Or you have to take all 4 sets?
No, I mean, yeah, 2 tires don't really work on road courses.
Right,
You know,
okay.
you'll wind up looping it right on the first turn you get into. You'll loop that thing quick.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, you are turning left and right. But it's a gasoline, isn't it? You can see them all going up. That's the one, because you get short fuel, expecting to go back into pit road again. So, no problems for Colin, as it comes out first. You guys want to grab Colin? Well, have a quick chat, actually, to him, if you like.
He's probably bored.
Yeah, see if I can find him here. All right, Colin, this is Steve up here in the booth. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hey Steve, how's it going?
All right. Unfortunately, Wesley hasn't made it in yet, so I'm the lucky one that just asked the questions.
Well, we do have Jason can ask you a question as well, too, because Jason
yeah.
actually retired with a technical
Is Jason up
fault.
here now?
Yes.
Oh, hey
So-
Jason.
So, Colin, just like the last time we were here at Coda, you jumped out to a pretty big lead. You feeling pretty comfortable?
Yeah, so I actually didn't get to run the Friday night series here. I was out of town, so it's nice to be able to get here at Coda in the DSR electric truck series. But yeah, feeling comfortable, taking it easy on the tires, trying to not get any off tracks here and see what I can do.
And Jason?
Yeah, Colin, one of the things we were talking about is just how massive the tire fall off is here. So, you know, how'd you feel, you know, on that run there with your tires?
Yeah, so my tires actually fell off about 3 seconds from lap 1 to lap 10, and that's just taking it really easy, not trying to do any crazy hot laps or anything out of the gate. So tire fall off is a big deal. The rears really wear out. I took care of them that time, but especially the left rear here. There's so many long right-handers, so trying to get the power down is crucial, so you don't want to use up all the goodie too soon.
And what's crucial is that the way you went sliced up the hill to turn 1 as well, too. I'm just looking at the race start, so very, very good. You get yourself covered off in a nice position. You're going to have to do it all over again, now that you're aware, of course, because you'll be restacking them. And are you confident to continue? I mean, you had a nice gap. Clearly, you set the fastest laps over anybody else. Anybody you think that could threaten your challenge to taking all the race win today?
But yeah, definitely. I think Kerry and Jonathan definitely have a good shot. Once the tires kind of fell off, we were all kind of going the same speed. So I think if they get in their groove a little bit sooner this restart, they could definitely be a threat. And Cole, of course, back there in 6th, he's worked his way up from an EOL. So I think those will be some guys to watch.
Alrighty, Colin, thank you very much. And I have to ask because I didn't look. Where did I pull you from?
The Highline Jet.
Highline. Okay, we'll put you back down there. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And, good luck this
No
next
worries.
stage.
Wesley's usually the one that drags the drivers up by the scruff of the neck and bring them in for chat, and thankfully Colin did. Good thing about road courses, of course, that you do get a little bit more time to have a bit of a yarn to the drivers because it's quite a way around here under the pace car. And you guys had mentioned Cole. There's Cole at the moment, 14 positions gained, so the pit stops all panned out perfectly for him. Stephen Gregory as well, another big gain at 20 places. Keep an eye out for that 61 machine, the Bodine's Moonshine powered. Gets the job done. You know, Jacob Reeves would be sitting there going, oh, Moonshine, I like that one. Where is Jacob Reeves? He is down there in P16. He's not one that's really a fan of road courses too often. He's probably still pumped on the adrenaline of Talladega that he went to on the weekend, and he's back racing. And yeah.
I think we got another lap of caution. Maybe we bring
wow,
up Kerry
we do.
Trevino, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
See how Kerry's feeling, you know, following that 11.
There he is. Gary, this is Steve up in the booth. How's it going? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
So Jason had some questions for you. I'll turn it over to him.
Yeah, Kerry, typically I like to try to race in these things, but you know how it goes for me. So I'm up here getting to do interviews. So yeah, man, following truck looks good. Following Colin around here, what do you feel you need to do a little bit different here on this next stage?
Wreck 'em in turn one.
Yeah,
No, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to hold on to second, trying to work on points, maximize whatever I can do tonight. Because I put myself in a big hole last week getting into that wreck. So I'm kind of just trying to maximize, trying to keep the third place guy behind me, and just doing what I'm doing.
Is that a new livery on your truck? It's Dean here.
What's up? Yeah,
yeah. You got a
definitely.
nice big shiny 7 on the side there. I like that little reflective.
You like that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's also helped because we got a little red background next to your name because you currently are on the bubble, aren't you? If I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. You can see in the cutoff line. So yeah, you mentioned it. These points are crucial for you to try to get through the fast 14.
Yeah, definitely. Just trying to minimize mistakes. That's all you can do out here.
Well, that's good. You're in a good position there. So you and Colin going into turn 1. Remember, take it easy up there, up the hill. It's a blind spot up there, my friend. You got to get up there and hit your braking point with the colder tires too. So I'm sure you're all aware of that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, Kerry. Well, I know you're fast. I know you're fast on these road courses, man. Good luck.
All right, thank you, Jason.
So there you have it, gentlemen. We'll, of course, we'll continue to see the action here while we talk. But we've got don't forget our Premier Racing setups as well too. Is one of the primary sponsors. We have that at bottom right-hand corner of your pictures where you still see the drivers on their last formation lap under the caution, first stage brake caution that we've had before we get to go green flag racing again. And of course, you want to go quick, you got to use those setups there for everything. But everything, see, and certainly a lot of road courses as well too, where you're going to need a lot of those Premier Racing setups as well, because they're not easy to drive around here, especially these trucks left and right, gentlemen, as you're all aware.
Dean, can we take a look at that schedule?
Yes, sir, of course. Yep,
Races
those who pull it
coming
up because that's the crucial one, isn't it? Once we finish off this Qatar, we go to Richmond and then Atlanta.
Yeah, we got Richmond after this race, and Jason, you said that's the that will be the cutoff race for the Fast 14, correct?
Yes, sir. That will be a cutoff race, and nothing like going to a short track for a cutoff race.
Then you got
yes.
Then you got almost super speedway conditions at Atlanta following the week after that.
Yeah, man, and Talladega, Daytona, they're tough wild cards, but to me, Atlanta's a bigger wild card. It's such tight racing coming through that dog leg, man. And it happens. The wrecks happen so fast. There's even less time to react to those wrecks. So, yeah, that's a big wild card.
Is it those 2 tracks for the Fast 14? Is that correct? Or just one?
There will be a third track.
Okay.
So I don't know if we have the extended schedule there.
No, we don't.
I can look real
Unfortunately,
quick and
just
see what we
got
got.
to Atlanta on this one for now. Yeah, but we will have more tracks because Atlanta won't be the finale. All right, well, that's fine. The drivers are going to be getting ready to go to get the job done all over again, gentlemen, as they're approaching a couple of Sector 3 here.
Yeah. So we got Richmond, followed by Atlanta, and then Darlington will be the cutoff race for the next round.
Ooh, that'll be interesting. Well, cold tires and warm hearts from the drivers are going to be the key. And Colin holds off the rest of the field and continue on his dominating form around the track here. Kerry Tribute loves these tracks. They're going to go side by side up into turn 1. Once again, the blind call. Don't forget Jonathan Caulfield, Adam Newton in the background there as well too. Justin White and Cole Erickson, who's having a good drive. Stephen Thomas and Stephen Gregory. Barney will go green. Let's go racing in Coda for the start of stage 2.
Colin jumps out to the big lead again. get ready to turn into turn 1 with Carry on his outside, trying to get past him. Everybody makes it around the corner. Oh, no, we got some trucks stopping up there in the corner. One off into the grass. A lot of trucks turning around up there.
And that's Bill Pappas in the 88. Looked like Tyler Dittmer was also involved in that.
Yeah, to be expected, unfortunately. In turn 1, I would expect a couple of trucks to go around backwards on that one. Let's see if we get a quick replay of that one on the blimp camera. Might give us an idea. Turn 1, got blind corner, and you got it 3 or 4 cars, even 4. Who's coming out from the inside? Way up on the inside.
Wow. Dive bombed it.
Yeah, that's no way to turn. Of course, they're all going to be turning left after they have a bit of a spin. That's going to slow everybody back down again. So that's Tyler, wasn't it? You mentioned it.
Oh, that's the 88.
Yeah, and you know it's interesting, right? Because you're used to running all these laps under green flag condition, and your braking point is so different because you have so much different speed than it is on the green flag restart, right? You're coming at just a different speed, different angle, so it really messes you up.
So we'll go back. Was it Tyler that came from absolutely nowhere? Let's have a look. Yes,
no,
it is.
It'd be the 88. I think so. Tyler comes to the inside, but then the 88 comes from way back.
That's Phil Pappas. Here it is.
And tries to get even. You can see. I mean, you saw how far up Tyler Dittmer was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried the NASCAR heat move
going
into turn 1.
That's 4 into 1. Isn't going to quite work at that one, and it's caused
5
like a
wide
rebound effect. Exactly. Daylight dollar short. So if you would have made it stick, that's a great way to get a 2 to 3 to 1 special, but unfortunately didn't quite pan off like that one. It caused a collision. Wouldn't be surprised if race control doesn't give out any ELL for that one.
And that just ticked off everybody around him too. I'm sure they had a few choice words for him on that one.
Yeah.
As we come back across the start-finish line again, Weatherholt out there in the lead, followed by Trabeau, and Jonathan Cofield, your top 3. Go ahead.
Yeah, that turns into a penalty. That'll be a pass-through penalty, so that's a big one, right? You're driving down that long pit road, super slow. So, the big gamble, and you pay the price for the big bet.
Here comes Tyler up the top of the hill into turn 1. It looks like you get so close, but you got to remember it's different drivers and different different braking points and acceleration points, and you can take multiple of them around here. You have a little bit more flexibility in these trucks because they're a little bit slower and brake a little bit later than some of the things like a Formula or a LMP2 or something like that. You know what I mean? That's more road course cars. These trucks, aren't really designed for road courses too much. So they don't stop at a dime like some open wheel cars do. Look at that, using the inside line there. Tyler doesn't care about the chicane. That's one for you too, about track limits, Jason. Yeah, about that. I mean, surely there has to be some track limits there. You can really...
Yeah, typically for these races, Brady turns off the league turns off the off-track limits. So, especially a track like this. So that's why I think you're seeing a lot of guys, using as much space as they can. Now, iRacing still has its limits in there, right? If you're cutting the corners, it will make you slow down.
I was going to say, it has to be stuff in there as well, too. Otherwise, you could completely cut the corner, couldn't you? But then again, that's a gentleman's agreement. These drivers and you gentlemen wouldn't be doing anything that ridiculously crazy to get an overtake done and not lift off and yield the position back anyway. But this is still a huge battle further back. We'll go up to the likes of Cole, because he's on the tailpipe of Adam Newton.
And under iRacing rules, also, when you take a turn too wide, you'll get an incident point also.
Yeah, Cole and Newton have a lot of experience racing each other on these road courses. I swear it's every road course we come to, these guys are battling it out. This is going to be a good race.
I would like, if iRacing to perhaps include that in the future or something like that. So if you have live race control, because not all leagues and stuff like that have live race control, we do here on the NASMA network for the DSR electric. But to, allow rather than just iRacing distributing that penalty, like actually allowing race control to override it. Because sometimes those penalties are issued just because two cars will come together, a little bit of door bang, and one will get forced off the track a little bit wide. And then that car will be the one that has to suffer a slowdown penalty, even though it's just a slight little racing incident. So that would be quite good, I think, if iRacing was to allow that ability to say, no, let us do the race control, let us look at that, and we can determine whether or not that. Because once that slowdown's done, you can't reverse it later on. You can't give somebody that time back. Taylor Peacock's gone on pit road, so does Cody Knott. Oh, they've had a big wreck. So I've missed that one. We'll have a look. That is huge, gentlemen. Cody Knott's in there as well too, but I'm not quite sure if Cody Knott was involved in that one. But we'll get back to the pictures and have a look.
And while Dean's looking at that, as we see Colin Weatherholt already almost a 4-second lead ahead of Kerry Tribune. And Tribune's followed by Jonathan Cofield, Adam Newton, and Cole Hendrickson for the top 5 as Adam gets ready to come up to the start-finish line here in about 3 more turns.
Whoa!
Oh, wow.
Now that's now you know that for a fact that Jason, you've had a technical issue. That's a technical issue where that looks like a rig's completely disconnected, hasn't it? A wheel or something's disconnected, and that's
I would almost bet that he would say that his screens went black.
And that's obviously. I mean,
wow, that was massive.
There's nothing he could do straight on like that. It's not even an indication of a turn or anything like that. A bit of damage on Brady's car as well. So I think he might have had a bit of a collision with somebody. Let's have a look at the replay of this.
I think Brady was involved in that restart jumble that had about 12 or 15 cars in it.
He's going to try to turn in here, and that's because something's wrong, isn't it? There's definitely something wrong with that. Maybe he's got a little bit of a bent steering arm or something, but he tried to get it into that corner, and he was going pretty slow too at that corner, so it wasn't like he was absolutely cooking it too fast.
Well, and he's got some good damage. It looks like he's missing that right front fender.
We'll get it patched up there for your team. We'll get it patched up for you, Brady. He's just going to try to take the AT at turn 1. Decides not to. Sends a dummy, actually. It's James Kaufman. Just to let him know. You can see inside that fender.
So the other thing that could happen is, during the race, you have the ability to adjust your brake bias, right? So you can put more front brake, rear brake in it. And sometimes you just make the adjustment too early or too late, and you go to brake in the same spot you did before, and, sometimes you loop it. So I don't know if that's the case there, but I know I've done that before and went to more front brake than I wanted to, and I loop her around.
Yeah, it's true. Your brake balance, your brake bias is something that you could use as a driver to your ability, and it can also go all pearl-shaped on you. Some of the, I think it was Rosberg, actually, Nico Rosberg, that won one of the Formula 1 championships before he retired. He used to be one of those drivers that would say, I would change the brake bias or some of the settings that the drivers could inside the car almost every corner, which is quite amazing when you do that, especially in a Formula 1 car, just to try to get a little bit more out of it. Now, some drivers would, some drivers wouldn't, but I guess it depends on your driving style.
Yeah, this has been a great battle to watch. Cole is definitely faster, and he just cannot find the spot to pass Adam.
Well, the 2 overtaken opportunities, of course. Well, 3 really. Turn 1 out of the hairpin as well, and then I can't remember the turn name. Sorry, because I should know them. But anyway, we'll see here. Turn 1 is coming up here.
Yeah, we know this one, right? Yeah, there's so many turns in this track to try to remember. But you look back behind Cole and Gregory's coming. So Cole can't mess around. He's got to take this chance as soon as he gets it.
That's true, and Gregory needs his points crucially as well too, because he's in the cutoff line, and he's the biggest gainer on this track so far. B22. Just imagine what Stephen could have been battling up front of Cole if he got a good qualifying performance, because that's the only thing that's let him down so far.
Yeah, same thing for Cole, right? I mean, both these guys started in the back, came up together.
And slicing and dicing, you see, as straight as possible as you possibly can through the S's. No real overtaking here, gentlemen. Unless you're going to really risk it for the biscuit, because you're going to compromise and screw up your speed so much.
Yeah, this is where you can set yourself up real good. Now you got a little loose there.
Yeah, he got loose. Yeah, right up the hairpin coming exactly. So now he's just got to be last of the late breakers. About now, slam it, hit the apex to the left. That's where you want. Just get your front tire right on it. Probably could have hit the apex a little bit more, but that's okay. On the gasoline, long straight away down the back straight, and then overtaking opportunity coming up here as well too, but probably a little bit too far back. If your DRS activated, if you're a Formula 1 car, open up the rear flap, get yourself about an extra 15 kilometers an hour. Unfortunately, you don't have it. Or push to pass would be nice. Add to these trucks. Let's say give, 10, 15 push to passes you can use during a race. Use it to defend, use it to attack, just like an IndyCar. Why not? Something fun.
Well, these things are hard enough to slow down as it is.
Yeah, really.
I'll add a little bit more element to it. Why not? Rain's coming. Let's get some rain tires on these trucks too.
Yeah, I'm excited for when they finally get that rolled out.
They should have it now. I mean, if they don't have the rain tires, of course, but they should allow you to have rain anywhere you want. Because we do own the racing sim, we do own the cars and the track, so we should have a right to configure it any way we want, even if it's not in real life. So you would not want to drive these trucks around here in wet course.
And Colin Weatherholt just crossing the start-finish line. Kerry Chabill right behind him, 5 seconds back. Jonathan Cofield comes across 30 at 9.3 seconds back from Colin Weatherholt. Followed by Adam Newton, Cole Henderson, Stephen Gregory, Bo Tiffany, Stephen Thomas, and Justin White. As we enter lap 22 with 4 laps to go before the end of stage 2.
Yeah, and once again, it looks like Colin's going to have that nice commanding lead. I think Kerry will be pretty happy with that one at the moment in P2 because he knew that this is going to be the one that set up a challenge Colin. But balancing tyres is going to be the biggest thing now, gentlemen, because we're not going to go to a caution on this stage break, as you can see. It's going to stay green. Before they had the luxury of going down a pit road after 10 laps and putting some fresh boots on, but now you're not going to have that luxury. We did hear from both Colin and Kerry that it was a bit tough. So we're going to have green flag pit stops. Now, how's that going to pan out? That's overall about 45 seconds, isn't it, in pit road? Ooh!
Yeah,
they should be pitting at right around lap 27 or so. So it won't be too much longer after the end of the stage that they'll come in pit.
Now, you wonder
Good
too.
evening, Wes.
Yeah, you want to do the overcut and the undercuts as well, too, which is going to be crucial to sort of get some track positions, exactly as we have Wes in here. So, once again, thank you very much there, Jason. Well, I'll get over to you, Jason and Wesley, and I'll sit here and push buttons.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I apologize for being late. I had to do a football radio broadcast on a Monday night, and obviously hightailed it here as quickly as I could. COTA, next round of the playoffs for the DSR Electric Truck Series. And Jason, how's the race been so far? Looks like I tried to jump on and see little things here on YouTube while I was driving back to the Casa, but looks like another night where Colin Weatherholt is definitely the Pied Piper here tonight at COTA.
Yep, Collins looks strong as you expect. Super smooth, carries fast, and just until Kerry made a little mistake there a moment ago, he's staying up with Colin.
And there's a replay of what just happened to the defending series champion, as we call the Spice Man from Fort Murray, Ontario, Canada, of Chris Cinnamon. And, boy, I'll tell you what, Steve Bartlett, he has not had a good season. Obviously, right now in the top 25, the number 3 is, as we're watching Stephen Gregory work his way to try to run down the top 5 around the racetrack, and Hendrickson in tow.
Yeah, Chris Cinnamon is 21 points down at the bottom of that cutoff list since he missed last week. So he's going to have a real hard time getting into that next round of the Fast 14.
And there you see the Sweet 20 as it stands right now, and drivers on the outside looking in. Remember, drivers in yellow are drivers currently locked in the Fast 14 to advance to the next round. Drivers in red are in the Sweet 20, but are in the cutoff line right now as we watch. Boy, oh boy, was that Paul Newton, I think, just jumped the cushion, if you will, like a dirt track terminology. He's under attack now, Jason, by the Highline Racing driver number 10 on the inside. Hendrickson now looking for fourth. He got around Newton as that goes on, and Gregory still trying to find a way to get around both of them, 2 for 1.
Yeah, Wesley, we've been watching this battle go on for probably a good 10 laps, and Cole finally got his chance. The Adam Newton, man, he's so good at defending his line. So, but he's under attack here again, and Gregory's going to send it. Oh my goodness!
Oh, really hard send. Gregory had to get on the binders there to just check up and miss him, and now it comes Newton piling back on the bottom into that corner of the racetrack. Look at how sharp this racetrack is here, obviously at COTA. Circuit of the Americas at tonight's ButtKicker 175. We are closing in on 20 laps to go when the field comes back around to the start-finish line. Colin Weatherholt still the man leading the way. Kerry Tribune second. Here you see him working off the corner. Back to the start-finish line. All these drivers still trying to run down the 11. And how about this, Bart, man? Kerry Tribune, 8 seconds right now, losing ground on Weatherholt as Weatherholt gets around more lap traffic as they go back into the corner.
Yeah, Weatherholt's been doing this pretty much all evening. He took stage 1, was about almost 12 seconds ahead of anybody else.
Yeah.
Here we are with him 8 seconds now ahead of Perry Tribune as he passes Cody Knott.
Yeah, that was Cody Knott that just got bypassed and put another lap down, if you will, or he was put a lap down. Cody Knott on the racetrack currently in the, let's see here. He's 3 laps down now, 26th position as Christopher McCullough now trying to make some quick work on Raul Meza and some other drivers. Harris watching on. This is for the top 15, Jason, as they work their way back up down the hill into the corner.
Yeah, we've seen some big movers in this field. We talked about Cole Hendrickson and Gregory. Those guys both started at the back of the field and find themselves in the top 5.
And 20 laps to go here for the playoffs. This is race number 2 of the playoffs in the ButtKicker 175 tonight. Remember, we go from COTA to Rockingham next week. Let's take a look real quickly at that schedule. As I'm sorry, it's another R. It's Richmond, actually. Richmond, as Darren Bruce picked up the win at Chicagoland in round 1. Richmond is where we're going to, and nothing like a little short track racing, Steven, to determine the cutoff race in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was just going to mention these guys that are on the bubble. They've got this race and the next one at Richmond to decide their fate if they get to stay into the playoffs or not this year.
Next week at Richmond, obviously, will be a deciding factor to determine where we'll be for the Fast 14. Watching now Harris up high. Look at this, McCullough trying to block him. Tyler Goodwin on board with the 17 from Illinois. The Land of Lincoln as they work their way around that sharp S's of the racetrack here at COTA. Side by side. Great racing going on. Almost into the 13. Goodwin, that's Tyler Dittmer. Dittmer battles back, originally from Gore, Virginia, now lives up in Washington State as we're under 20 laps to go here in tonight's ButtKicker 175, and it is all Colin Weatherholt leading the way here.
Cody's
and I would assume, guys,
I think he was complaining about something. Look.
Cody Knott with a problem on the 26. Here's a replay of it, Jason.
Yeah, let's see. Oh man, just came in too hot. This place it's tough, man. It is super technical, and it's so easy just to get in that turn too hot and get in there, lock the brakes up, and there you go.
Already multiple laps down again for that driver.
He's retired.
Remember, this is a playoff race, and I'm understanding Cody Knott has retired from the race. He is officially out now. And working their way back around the racetrack. Time running out. Colin Weatherholt in the lead. Kerry Tribune, both field. Solid run for him in third. Hendrickson and Gregory now the top 5. As they work their way around the racetrack. Patience is key, Bart, man. No doubt about it. You got to find a way to weasel around these corners, especially these S's. But if there's a chance that you can try to go for an advantage to get around the truck, just like we saw Goodwin do to McCullough, Dittmer's coming through as well on driver right. You go for it.
Yeah, and we've seen this almost all evening now that about the only way these guys are getting to pass is if the guy in front of them makes a small mistake and doesn't take a big mistake. Just a small mistake, and that can get you by him. We've seen guys try to dive bomb into the turn. That didn't quite work out. And then once you get on the straightaways, there's no really advantage to try and pass anybody there.
Yeah, time running out here again is look at this move. Going around 2 for 1. Tyler Dittmer made that Toyota stick. And now working back into the corners again here. Dragonfly took a couple of guys on pit road. South Carolina's Ron Morris Jr. into the pit lane. Don't know if that is scheduled or unscheduled pit stops as we watch these guys work around to catch that man. There he is, Colin Weatherholt. Jason, I'm telling you, dude, this Highline Racing number 11, this guy out of Monticello, Indiana, has definitely turned it up here tonight. And the playoff contender looking to advance into the Fast 14, joining. He would be the only guy that locks in because I thought is Darren Bruce. I believe Darren Bruce won last week. I don't think he made the playoffs. He won the race.
Yes.
But this would be the first playoff guy that'll go into the show here. And there it is. Darren Bruce, winner last week, but he was a non-playoff driver. Colin Weatherholt, if he gets this done here, Jason, he will be the first man as a driver in the playoffs to lock himself into the next round.
Yeah, he's been on an island all of his own, right? I mean, it's been really remarkable watching him, and for me, trying to replicate what he does is just impossible. He's just good.
Yeah, it certainly is, man. Definitely. I'll tell you what, Bart, man. Steven, if you want to add more to that, no doubt, the talent that we have seen of Colin Weatherholt shows is Justin Lumpkin, who won into the playoffs after that crazy wild finish at Daytona a couple of weeks ago, is now right there on the racetrack. Lumpkin, the driver out of Corinth, Mississippi. And Lumpkin on the racetrack right now in 21st spot.
Yeah, Colin's just been so good this season that, at the beginning of the race, you kind of say, well, Colin's going to win it. That's just the way he's been racing this season. As he gets ready to come by the start-finish line, we'll have 6 laps to go before the 7 laps to go, before the end of stage 2.
Yeah, time running out.
I'd expect to start seeing the masses start pitting probably around 15 to go is kind of my guess.
So pit lane is about to become a busy place, a money stop, if you will, to determine the outcome of tonight's ButtKicker 175. We're going to go side by side to thank our sponsors, but we'll stay right here with you for the racing action. Of course, don't forget Premier Racing Setups, the duels at Daytona Wednesday night with the Cup cars. Don't forget also race continues for, I believe it's tomorrow night, the opening race for the NASRA Blanchard's Towing Xfinity Series. That will be Daytona, 200 miles, 100 laps. That will be, of course, or 250 miles, 100 laps. That will be tomorrow night right here at the NASRA 360 Racing Network. So there you see Brady LaBeouf, Season 2 champion right now. Just kind of lying in the weeds, being patiently as well, Jason, as the laps wind down here at COTA.
Yeah, and speaking of that race tomorrow, man, that was one wild duel, wasn't it?
It was, man. I definitely enjoyed it with the 2 duels going on at one time, and obviously trying to figure out with the strategy of seeing what guys were doing and just racing there to the end. It certainly was, and what a show they put on, no doubt. Definitely a fun time, ready to see what these guys will do in the big race tomorrow night. And, of course, don't forget the duels for the twin duels. That will be for the Premier Setups NASRA, I'm getting tongue-tied. The NASRA Cup Series, presented by Premier Setup Shops, of course, part of all of our NASRA setups for our events. Thanks to them. But the NASCAR Cup Series will be in action on Wednesday night. Goat Locker Racing, Arca Thunder on Thursday. The Cup Series on Friday. All of that going on now, Jason, or Bartman. You got Monday through Friday. Take your pick. NASCAR's got you covered for coverage.
Lots of super speedway racing going on. I just did one last night at Talladega with another league I just joined. But then we got 2 races this week at Daytona. That's a lot of super speedways.
Boy, speaking of Talladega, did you guys see the race yesterday? 4x4x4.
Oh,
Crazy this is. We got caution. Well, we got them crashing, actually. I don't think a caution will get called. But there goes Tyler Dittmer. All that momentum, Jason, he had, it's gone now away.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because he was involved in the pileup that happened on the restart after stage 1 and fell to the back and fought his way all the way, I don't know, up to 12th, 13th, and then
they're not done.
he's having a time of it right now.
As Mr. Jacob Reeves, the redneck announcer, would say, we got beef between McCullough and Dittmer. Yeah, I'm here all night. Thank you. Fashionably late, but I'm here all night.
And speaking of the redneck announcer, he currently holds 12th right now.
Well, good run for him. You know, he's not in the playoffs, but he point blank told me when he wasn't able to make the playoffs, he said, Wesley, I'm going to make some noise, though. You watch me. I'm going to make noise. We'll see what goes on. We saw Darren Bruce do it last week. Here comes now Andrew Harris on pit road, the Kansas driver. 15 laps to go. Jason, you kind of figured somewhere around this time we're going to see guys come down to the pit lane here for the money stop, and you're seeing Al Lumpkin coming in with joining these others.
Yeah, with the way the tires fall off, I mean, it just seems like it's probably the right time to do it, you know, because after about 10 laps, that's when they're really starting to get cooked. So, you know, 15 laps for the remainder of the race. I mean, you can hopefully jump a couple guys. It's still hard to pass. So yeah, if I'm them, I'm pitting right around 15, hoping some other guys are going to pit around 10 to 12, and they're not going to be able to pass you. You know, it's just
Weather Holt. Yeah,
difficult.
man, we're watching it. Keep an eye on it. Weather Holt up in front again. We're watching. Whoa, look out, Frank! Oh man, hold on to it, McCullough. Christopher McCullough about just spun Steven coming off of that hill down there. Wow.
Yeah, he did a set quick change in the elevation. Came into the turn, looks like a little too hard. Got to the outside, lost it, got loose. Right there. But he didn't lose it too bad, though. He was able to straighten it out pretty quick.
What amazing save, McCullough there. Jason able to keep on going.
Carry now.
Yeah. You know, one thing to think about too is, you know, we started this race and it was pretty cloudy, overcast, a lot cooler track. So now these guys are on a track that's full of sunshine. You know, right? The heat's up on the track, so your temp's up, and you're on old tires. You know, so they're racing a different track than they've done all day.
Yeah, look at the track temps and the ambient temperature right now. Partly cloudy skies, but that's a hashtag fake news. The sun bearing over Coda as we speak, with Weather Holt up in front with 15 laps to go. Kerry Tribute, Cofield, what a strong run for him. Cofield was actually starting to make a run down on the 7 of Kerry Tribute. All this goes on is, there you see that battle heated up for second as they go up the hill, heading toward the S's on the kind of, if you will, back straightaway part of Circuit of the Americas. The S's await them, and you got to take advantage, if you will, Stephen, heading down that hill right here, and he just can't seem to pull the trigger on that driver. Cofield can.
Now these hairpin turns like that, they're kind of hard to get underneath, and even the outside, it's hard to get around another vehicle there. This would be a spot here coming up on this turn. If you can get to the inside, that would be about the only place in that section that you can possibly get by anybody.
Yeah, and if I'm Cofield and Hendrickson, this is where I'm going to pit right now. Up, and you know, you want to beat him to pit road because you're gonna jump him, right? So that's what I would be looking to do here. We'll see if they decide to turn in.
The ButtKicker 175 nears the home stretch. A quick break. We'll take you to the checkered flag when we come back from Coda.
you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
For Monday night.
Jacob's in and Stephen Gregory's out of pit road. There you go. We're live, gentlemen. Oh, you can hear me.
Pit stops continue. Pit stops continue here at COTA. Here in the ButtKicker 175. Of course, Wesley Outland here with you. Sorry for being a tardy slip arrival guy. I had a race to do, and look at this final now for the top three. Look at this, and this is going on between Cofield. Is that Hendrickson and Thomas, it looks like, going out there on the racetrack. Look at this great battle here.
Colin Weatherholt's jumped out to an 18.5-second lead now over Kerry Chabot.
Jonathan Cofield's second spot, 18 seconds back, is to the leader. Weatherholt just absolutely annihilating the competition. Kerry Tribune in second behind them, though. Look at this. Backed up like sardines in the virtual world of the road course. Kerry Tribune, Cofield, and Hendrickson. And Jason, you've been in these wars many times. One wrong slip in the minefield, and they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and again, you're on wore-out tires. You're pushing hard. You're stacked up to each other. Everybody's got different braking points and throttle points. Man, it's fun to watch. I wouldn't want to be Cofield in this situation. You know, get kind of sandwiched. Here comes Kerry. Kerry's making the right move here.
Watching all of this going on as we're moving into the latter stages of this race now, closing in on 13 to go. Here comes drivers on pit road. Kerry Tribune, the 7 is in. Cole Hendrickson, the 10, in as well. Money stop, 13 to go. Colin Weatherholt, still the man leading, and he continues, Bart Mann, to increase that lead on the 11.
Yeah, and now the Cofield and Hendrickson and Tribune, and Cofield are both pitted now. I don't expect. I believe Colin will probably pit this time around.
Yeah, Gregory should be able to hop him here.
And I'll be honest with you guys.
Oh, he's got him in a bad spot.
Oh,
He's not gonna be able to get there.
And I'll be honest with you guys, as we see Hendrickson and Tribune battle Stephen Gregory there for that spot. When Colin Weatherholt pits, if he does, I think he could literally come down pit road, make his pit stop here. Jason, oh, whoa, look who jumped the cushion there. Jumping the rumble strips was Gregory. Oh, I believe I can fly.
Yeah, and to what you're saying, yeah, he'll probably still come out with probably about a 12-second lead, 12 to 15-second lead, because he's so far ahead, right? So even the time that they're going to gain, he's going to get right back in the first lap he's out there.
Yeah, you read my mind. That Jason, that's exactly what I was trying to get into till I had that squirrel moment whenever we saw Gregory jump the rumble strips, the turtles, if you will. And look at them now right there in position with each other again. 13, now make it 12 laps to go when they come to the line. The ButtKicker 175 nears the home stretch of this race here tonight from Circuit of the Americas. Don't forget, we go short track racing next week for the final race in the round of 20. Colin Weatherholt, here he comes, Bart, man. He's on pit road.
And it'll be interesting to see if Jonathan Cofield follows him in or if Jonathan stays out for another lap. They get that those extra race points for leading a race. So we'll find out here in just a second.
Oh, a little scramble there for a moment. Phil Pappas, the 88 on the inside, battles with the driver of Kaufman and others. Maurer trying to run him down, going after Justin White. That battle heats up into the corner again as a little bump and run, if you will. Maurer, driver left, trying to go for the clear. He got a run on Kaufman, going after, trying to get up there, hook up with Pappas, and they shut the door on him again, the 25 wheel. What a battle here going on the racetrack.
And Cofield did not
Oh,
pit.
White's in trouble. Oh, man.
And Cofield did not pit, so he currently is the race leader until he does pit, and then Colin Weatherholt will be right behind him. Only 9 seconds back. Kerry Chabu is still 20 seconds back behind Colin at the moment.
But let's be honest, though. Let's be honest, though, Stephen. Cofield's got to pit, though, right? I mean, he can't go the distance. He just can't do it. He can't.
Yeah, he's got to pit. There's no way he can make it another 12 laps. Last time he pitted was the end of stage 1 caution at lap 15. So
Yeah.
he's got to come in.
Stretching it as much as he can here, as we still see now Maurer battling with Kaufman to get into the top 10, 9th and 10th, and here we go. 12
tell you what,
remaining.
looking at the intervals, it looks like Tribune and Hendrickson are going back and forth.
You know, Jason, what a lot of people don't realize, man, until you drive this course, and I know you ran here earlier, is Gary Tribune losing momentum. Cole Hendrickson on the inside, coming through. He'll take that spot away and move now to third. So Hendrickson up to the third spot now. Laps winding down. But I was going to say, Jason, you know, you ran here earlier tonight as well. We've done races in the past here from Circuit of the Americas. And it's very, very simple. This is a big racetrack. This is a big road course. I mean, this place measures at almost 4.5 miles long in distance. And man, it is a gargantuan to figure out and race on.
Oh yeah, and there's so many turns. It's so fast. You have your elevation changes. It's intense. It is my favorite, hands down my favorite road course.
Super One special by Bo Tiffany, by the way, to move back into the top 10. He's at 9th. As Jonathan Cofield now, Bartman gives up the lead. He's on pit road now. And Weatherholt will easily go back to the top spot.
Yeah, and if Cofield's taking 4 here, I mean, he may be coming out, you know, maybe 5th or 6th. But he stayed out so long. Those guys are going to have been putting down some pretty good lap times. So I would be surprised if he comes out in the, top 5.
Clear selling for the number 11, honestly. If he can just continue to hold his line, stay in position, continue to hit his marks and do what he is doing.
And Jonathan Cofield just came back out right behind Stephen Gregory, Kerry Chabu, and Cole Hendrickson right there in his sights already.
Yeah, definitely in position.
Could be able to lock himself into a top 5 there, you know, fresh the tires on the track now at 5th. So, I don't know if he's got enough time to catch Tribune or Hendrickson, but he may be able to get up to Gregory.
Boy, oh boy, ready now. As hey, by the way, I just want to say our thoughts and prayers are still with everybody that's been affected by Hurricane Helene and Western North Carolina and in Tennessee and down in the Southeast. And I want to tell you as well, it is an all-out emergency panic in Florida as people are trying so quickly to get out of the path of Hurricane Milton. And gentlemen, it has been announced that it is a Category 5 hurricane. And if people do not know what categories are, from 1 to 5, from tropical storm level to 5, Category 5, Jason, is catastrophic. Anything it pretty much gets in the path of, it can destroy. And man, I hate to see that. I really do. I just hate to see this devastation that we're seeing weather-wise to our American people. So you're in my thoughts and prayers, everybody.
And Category 5 sustained winds of 180 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And this thing started out this morning as a tropical storm and blew up to a Category 5 in one day.
That's crazy how fast it picked up momentum. It went from a tropical storm, Milton, to now a Category 5 storm, and it looks like it is going to just hammer the entire Sunshine State. So please, in our thoughts and prayers, everybody, from Helene and now Milton, whatever that provides also. 10 laps to go, as we do got a couple of Floridians that are part of NASRA. And I have friends and family and colleagues and acquaintances of the racing world also down in Florida as well. So I'm with you. Your thoughts and prayers with all of y'all. And, man, I just hate seeing that. As right now we catch up to the end of this one. Speaking of one of my buddies, the redneck announcer, Jacob Reeves, fresh in from Talladega, and the Yellowwood 500 trying to battle here at the door, bang a download machine alongside with that driver of Harris. And they get side by side. Nope. Jason, he passes him like a lost cause, Reeves does.
Yeah, that was
Quickly got
move.
around him up the hill.
That was a great move.
Definitely got around him up the hill and holds on to that spot. 10 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. Gotta love these drivers working around the track, doing what they're doing, Steven. And we continue to see Reeves now. Jacob Reeves is just trying to crack the top 10. He's in the 11th spot now. Seems like he's had a lock on 11th for a while here at COTA today.
Yeah, and this is mentally and physically draining on the drivers, these road courses, especially here at COTA. It's a long race. You're not just turning left like we're used to. You got the lefts and the rights that you have to deal with. A heavy vehicle that you need to almost stop before you make some of these hairpin turns. It's draining.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely got to be straining. Definitely continuing to see all of this battling going on. Yeah, here, kitty. into the sand trap, or as our colleague, producer, director, and color analyst tonight, Finkelstein Hopkins said, into the kitty litter.
I'm fresh off the 6 hours Bathurst, my friend. Exactly, yeah.
Oh, wow.
One of the teams. They got their way up to P2, as we're seeing Stephen Gregory run a little bit wide. And that's going to allow the door open for Jonathan Caulfield, actually. But, yeah, they got all the way up to P2, and then a back marker, unfortunately, collided with another car, and then that took them out. So they had a lot of damage and ended up finishing in P20 later on. That's just the luck of the draw in endurance races, unfortunately.
Boy, and Caulfield is putting those fresh tires to use, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, guys, I just watching all this 9 laps to go. Look at this up high, battling Caulfield. Strong run for Caulfield. Jonathan Caulfield, the Mumford, Alabama man. Of course, you see him donning pink on the trucks, obviously. October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you'll see a lot of drivers, Jason, take advantage and show their colors to support breast cancer awareness. And we'll see a lot more truck, I think, at events this year, and cars and Cup, and a lot of drivers will have pink on their machines.
Oh, yeah, and one thing, with my race team, HLR, we try to do that, at least one race every October to where our entire stable will do it. So I'm not sure what race we're going to do it yet. You have to stay tuned to see which one it is, but it'll be coming soon.
Working back out of the corner, 9 laps to go. It is Colin Weatherholt up in front. There you see Caulfield. Jonathan Caulfield trying to run down Kerry. Well, actually, correction, that's actually Stephen Gregory, Bartman, in front of him. Look at that tight angle right there. I mean, people just don't realize how sharp of a corner it is right there, watching that battle going on between Gregory Caulfield for 3rd and 4th, and it's like a curve and a straight line, Bartman. That's a tight 45, 50-degree angle right there to turn the truck.
And that's what makes this track so hard to pass. Because of these tight turns that it has.
Yeah, and Gregory on the outside looking into the points right now, he is not going to give this spot up easy. Steven's one of in a good way, he's one of the more aggressive guys, right? He is not going to give this up easy. Caulfield's he's got his work cut out for him, even with the pressure tires.
And another lap on the board. There's the look now at the Sweet 20. There's a look at who would advance to the Fast 14 if Colin Weatherholt was able to do it. Looks like Newton and Pappas might even advance as well tonight, as it looked like they might have enough points to transfer Whoa, Cofield. Good run, gone bad. Hold on to it as he does. Gotta wonder, Jason, how much damage is on the 58. He's still in fourth.
Yeah, that was a pretty big lick on that shell there, man. Those things will send you for a ride.
Replay forthcoming. We got a replay of that. Oh, man. Just saw his truck getting airborne, and that could have been really nasty for the driver. Here's a look at it. Let's watch this again on the replay. Cofield. Look at this right here. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit earlier than that into the S's.
All right, we'll just go in reverse. Let's just go in reverse. There you go. Right there. All right, here he goes out of the corner. The Up Front Motorsports in front of him. There he goes. Yeah. Hey,
so from behind the wheel right there, you actually
passed the
can't
driving
see it.
test and didn't take out no cones, Jason.
Yeah, and when you're behind the truck like that and they're cutting the turn, you don't see it, until the last second. I think that's exactly what happened to him there.
He did pass the driving test. He didn't take out any cones. At least he still keeps on going, and the race rolls on here. Time running out, Bart, man, and look who's up in front.
Oh
no, Pappas in trouble. Oh, wow. That was a good run for him. Going around in that truck, the 88 will fall all the way back to where? Where does he end up? Oh, look at this. Just lost it there, Bart, man. Lost it on his own, and he got damaged as he backed it into the Armco barrier.
And that's a pretty heavy hit.
Yeah, luckily these road courses really don't require a lot of aerodynamics. So as long as he doesn't have anything rubbing on his tires or anything like that, he still should be good to go, even though he hit that kind of hard.
Ready to bring this one to the finish with 7 laps to go. So let's pick up the leader, by the way. Colin Weatherholt has a 24-second lead, almost 24 seconds, to the man in second of Cole Henriksen and Stephen Gregory. And if you're looking on the track map above you on the top right, you can see, Jason Morales, that there are trucks scattered all around this almost 4-mile race course here at Circuit of the Americas. And literally, it's just the 11 in his own world. Nobody can catch him. You got to get all the way to the 10, all the way now hitting the back straightaway part of Coda, if you will, before you see him in second. The green 11 is already starting to pick off more lap traffic, and you see that right there in his mist. All this going on as the laps wind down here.
Yeah, and that's scary too, right? I mean, we've seen races before, right, where a leader's got a big lead on these road courses, and lap car loses it. So he's got to be careful and cautious coming through here.
Got to make sure, Steven, that you don't make a mistake. Also, if you're the leader, I mean, you got a big lead. Don't be aggressive and overdrive the truck, just like that. Oh boy, that could have been in trouble when the back end got sideways.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be aggressive. You don't want to overdrive it, cause yourself to get wrecked and end up losing the race, especially when you've been leading the race the whole time. But I don't think Weatherholt will do that. He's got a pretty good head on his shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got, the playoff drivers in the top 10 are Weatherholt, Newton back there in 6th, Thomas in 7th, White in 8th, Tiffany on the bubble in 9th, and Maurer in 10th place, with Gregory and Chabu 4th and 5th also on the bubble.
Closing in on the end of this one here. We are now at 5 laps to go when Weatherholt comes back to the line. This race closing in. Look at the interval. 2 minutes, 18 seconds. That's how long it takes to get around this race course. And there's the time, the last time they turned, 2 minutes, 18 seconds right now. But roughly 2 minutes, 20 seconds, something around there is the time of a lap around this racetrack, Jason. And Weatherholt's just very faster.
Yeah, you want to talk about how fast he is. So he's on roughly 9 to 10 lap old tires, and he's still running laps faster than most of the guys qualified. I think majority of the field were somewhere around 220, 221, somewhere in that neck of the woods, and he's still running 218s.
What an amazing job by them as they thunder off the corner coming down the line. There's Raul Meza, Chico, California driver in that Serve Pro entry, Chevrolet number 37. Raul Meza right now sitting in 16th position. Got a good solid run going for him. He is one of the playoff drivers. Let's take a look at the. He might have a good solid run. Yeah, four to the good. Four to the good. I mean, I would be safe to say, Jason and Steven, I would think that in addition to Colin Weatherholt having a good solid run here tonight, I would think that Newton, put the bracket back up again if you don't mind, please. With the addition of Weatherholt going in, obviously number 1 seed already. I think Newton, Pappas, Thomas, Harris, maybe top 5, top 6, Lumpkin maybe as well. I think we're going to see at least 7 out of the 14 transfer in tonight by virtual points, guys. Would you agree, Jason and Steven?
I think Pappas is questionable. He's running 20th right now. He was in that pretty good size wreck. So on top of that, another thing to keep in mind for Pappas is if they deem that wreck to be his fault and he winds up with a penalty, he won't be able to qualify tomorrow for the cutoff, or next Monday for the cutoff race at Richmond, which is not a place you want to start in the rear.
Boy, and that's a heartbreaker. It's heartbreaker as well. Remember, Cole Henriksen on the cutoff line. He's in 2nd place. Stephen Gregory, by the way, he's in 4th. Couple of drivers below the cutoff line having a good solid run here tonight, Stephen. So I retract my previous statement. I think this is just going to fluctuate the bracket leading into the race at Richmond next Monday night, buddy.
Yeah, it will. Everybody's, Cabu and Gregory, they're in the top 5. They'll gain some points. Tiffany, he's in 9th. He'll gain some points. Then there's guys that are in yellow back there in like 20, 21st who will definitely lose some points, race points. So there's a good chance that like Cabu and Gregory and Tiffany can still squeeze in and make that cutoff for the Fast 14.
Yeah, and something to note, Tribune did, I believe he finished 2nd in both those stages. So that's a ton of points, and followed up with 5th place. I mean, he's going to get a lot of points.
And the time is running out as they fire back up the hill. And boy, look at that sharp angle. A lot of people don't realize that 600-foot angle and then drop right there. Elevation is what we talked about, the elevation. Literally, you could go up to the top of that hill there and you can't even see yet until you turn the corner to come back down the hill, Jason. That's how sharp that trajectory is from coming down the straightaway at Coda, going up the hill, and it's a blind spot. Am I right?
Yeah. Same thing here with this turn. You're coming uphill, and then you're turning down here. Then this is where you finally start seeing the downhill slope. So it does have 2 uphill sections that are blind. So it's a challenge, especially when you're behind somebody, and it changes your visibility point.
On board with the Mackinac, Illinois driver, the Land of Lincoln native, Joey Stiers. Look at that scoring pylon, 33 trucks battled. He's going after Brady LaBeouf, by the way, up ahead. Brady LaBeouf in 13th. Not a good night tonight for the former Season 2 champion, Stephen, as this race comes to an end for the driver down from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
No, he's been struggling all evening. I hate to see it when guys struggle like this, but obviously he's not the only one. But he's had a good fight, but he just hasn't been able to do anything this week.
Yeah, and he was part of that the big one, if you want to call it. With 12 or 15 trucks, whatever the number was. And I know he's missing the right front fender, so that thing is probably not driving too great. Yeah,
look at Brady LaBeouf. Solid run. LaBeouf now Behind him, the Thundering Herd coming after him right there for that spot. You're looking at it. That's LaBeouf and Stiers. Some other guys, Bullock there in the 17. All of this happening. Meza and others cross the stripe. 4. Now I get 3 laps to go. Close to 12 miles remaining in this race when you pick up Colin Weatherholt. Weatherholt, Henriksen, Cofield, Gregory, Trabue. Top 5. That's it. 4 to go. Don't forget short track racing. And Steven, because you've been on this journey for me almost the entire season, man. You look at the first round of the playoffs in the Fast 20. You go from last week's race to tonight here at COTA to next week at Richmond. What a crazy opening 3 rounds or 3 races to open up round 1 of the playoffs to advance to round 2. Is look at Maurer trying everything he can to get to Jacob Reeves and clear him, and he can't get him yet.
Yeah, it is. We had Talladega last week, road course this week, short track next week. Yeah, that's 3 very different racetracks for these guys to have to race on in such a short period of time. But I think it's good because these guys that don't perform that well in some of these races, or some that do perform well in some of these races will do really good and possibly get into that final 14 or fast 14.
Right.
But then these other guys there that don't do so good in one of these races, that could potentially end their season.
So Weatherholt still in the top spot. Look at him diving in for all the spots that they can. Brady LaBeouf under attack by the 23. Down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's Joey Stiers, Raul Meza, Kaufman, all in his Goodwin, all in his sights. They are trying to run after him. Boy, Jason, this is very intense here now with 3 to go. Wow.
Yeah, and the problem is once you cook your tires like that, you saw the tires get real out of shape. It takes it a while to get those tires to get back to where they want to be. So it really throws your rhythm off for a while.
LaBeouf on the bottom. There goes Bullock. Bullock trying to pull the trigger up on the top of the hill. Can he carry that momentum up top? He will. He's got to get on the binders, and that lets Brady LaBeouf. But Brady went off track for just a moment.
Yeah, you saw a real shallow entry there by Brady. That spells problems on that turn. Oh, it's a tough place to go too wide.
Wow. By the way, Bullock tried to shoot the turtles, if you will, the apron to make a move on LaBeouf. And when doing so, this lets Goodwin and Bullock get into one another. Stiers is in that battle as well. You'd have thought this was for the win, Bart, man.
Yeah, they have. They've been battling pretty good, and they're still going at it now.
Fighting for every position possible. Look at Bullock. Cocks the truck sideways, dirt tracks it, if you will. Working off the corner. Tyler Dittmer now on the clear. Here's the thing, Jason. You might get around that truck. Look at Dittmer, though. But he's still got Bullock in his sights. You're not clear.
Yeah, and like I was saying with Bullock there, once you lose your rhythm, man, this is such a rhythm track. It's so hard to get it back, and you see that often. Once a guy makes a mistake, he makes about 3 or 4 more mistakes that lap.
The Hot Lap Podcast truck, Brady LaBeouf, Tyler Dittmer, all in the mix off the track again. Bullock and Dittmer in tow. Penultimate lap of the race, by the way. Colin Weatherholt in front. He is on the back straightaway as we continue to watch this action going on in the back that you'd think, Steven, is for the win.
Yeah, these guys, they're all fighting for points. The higher they finish, the more points they get. That could put them in the Fast 14. That's why we're seeing these good battles going on right now.
But I'll tell you what else we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of free landscaping, aren't we?
We are, man. Definitely, they're cutting the grass or plow the road, if you will, from the quote from the movie Independence Day. Let's plow the road, give them room, and all this going on. Don't forget tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Daytona. You got the big race. Whoa, Rameza lost momentum just a little bit coming down the straightaway. He got sideways, but he lost a little bit of speed, but he didn't spin out. But he did lose spots, big spots now. Coming to the line. Look at this, McCullough battling alongside with Pappas. Pappas, one of those drivers right now in 20th position. Got to get as many spots as he can, Steven, because he's one of the guys in the playoffs. And by the way, the one to go is already waving. White flag is out for Colin Weatherholt. There is the difference of the interval of everything that we're seeing going on track here. Oh, McCullough going at it with Pappas. You can't go side by side in the S's, but I'll be damned if they didn't try, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, that is not the place to do it. We do have one kind of close battle up there for second and third. Cofield's got it down to a second.
And there is one lap to go, Steven. We missed amongst all of this racing going on, this chaos in the finish, the side-by-side in the S's, Maurer and Harris now going at it door to door. The white flag waved for Colin Weatherholt.
Yeah, it's not going to be much longer now. But these guys cross that finish line. They're giving it everything they have in order to stay in the playoffs right here. And we'll see this even intensify more next week at Richmond.
Working in the corner, Colin Weatherholt. All right, guys. Look at him side by side, door banging down low, door banging in the trucks. Here at Coda, Harris and Maurer, they're not done yet. Oh, baby, Harris making a big bonsai move there, Jason.
I can't believe he made that word. Oh, wow. I'm sure Maurer's in the truck going, what the heck was that?
And look at what Maurer's thinking. Okay, this guy's gonna just tear. He's gonna wreck himself, Steven. Right? I mean, he's just ready to pounce on them here. And by the way, they still got a white flag lap. They're coming to the white flag now, Bart. Man, this is it. They got one to go.
Yeah, it's like I said. You know, this is some of these guys is do or die. They want to get all the points that they can because it's going to be more intense next week at Richmond.
And let's pick up Colin Weatherholt. Short track racing at Richmond Raceway next weekend, next Monday night. Meanwhile, Colin Weatherholt looking for the checkered flag. He is heading to the end. He's heading to the home stretch. Here comes Lumpkin. The Talladega winner gets out of the way. Colin Weatherholt works his way. The Monticello, Indiana driver Toyota dominates here tonight at Circuit of the Americas. He's number one. He's been number one, it feels like, all year, and he wins to punch his ticket automatically in to the Fast 14. What a run, Jason, by the 11.
Yeah, not many words for it, right? I mean, just pure dominance.
And here comes the rest of the field coming across the line, Steven, finally.
And Weatherholt has been like that since the green flag dropped at the beginning of this race. He won stage 1, he won stage 2, and now he wins the race, takes the checker flag at the end.
Dominating. Here comes now the 69-24 team coming to the line. There goes Adam Newton. Good solid run for him as the field works their way across the start-finish line to the checkered flag. Stephen Thomas, another good solid run for him, the driver out of Elk View, West Virginia. Wild and wonderful West Virginia. And there's Weatherholt. Now remember, he's got to still stay on course here, Jason. I noticed that one time he started slowing down going up at the top of the hill, but he's got to keep going. He can't go in reverse. He can't go burning it down because technically the race is still going on.
Yeah, and he's probably in there drinking a macchiato, cruising around.
You spilled my macchiato.
He's just having fun. He's just having fun right now, just kind of burning them up.
Just getting ready to burn it down for Colin Weatherholt.
Hey, great race.
Just kind of steering the wheel back and forth.
Good race for HLR. I'm super excited. Not for me, but 1-2. You know, we're going to call it a 1-2-3. Cofield actually races with, you know, kind of adjacently with the team.
That's right. Yeah, sister team.
Called a 1-2-3.
Pretty good run there. As now you see Colin Weatherholt waiting for the official word that every truck has crossed the finish line, and then he can officially burn it down here at Circuit of the Americas. And I'll tell you what, though, Stephen Bartlett, what a phenomenal job we're seeing by Colin Weatherholt, man. I mean, this guy, listen, get him in the Cup Series, put him in the Cup car. This guy's in a totally different level of everybody else in this truck series on Monday night, I think.
Yes, he is. It's been fun to watch him all season long. He's just dominated this whole season. I think he's only had 1 or 2 bad races. Other than that, I think he's been in the top 10 almost every race.
Let Colin Weatherholt burn it down here at Circuit of the Americas and everyone else behind him. Now it looks like he's drifting, Jason. He's drifting your Hotline Racing truck number 11. And so is Hendrickson. And so is, Hendrickson spun out, though. Yeah, there we go. Now you can officially burn it down because here's the deal. I actually announced a race before for iRacing guys where there was a guy that won the race. His name was Cole Raz, as a matter of fact. It was a Northwest Cup Series event. He won the race, and he quickly pulled down into the infield grass at Daytona. And he started doing donuts and spinning his tires and celebrating. iRacing gave him a black flag.
Yep.
They disqualified him. And there was I'll just say this, iRacing DQ'd him, but the Northwest Racing Series did not. But basically, it was basically said, hey, don't ever do this again. So there's a look at the results of the 30-plus trucks here tonight at Circuit of the Americas. Colin Weatherholt picking up the win. Cole Hendrickson second. Jonathan Cofield, Stephen Gregory, Kerry Tribune. Good points day for guys, as Stephen mentioned. Newton, Thomas, White, Tiffany, Harris, top 10. Maurer, Reeves in 12th. Stiers, Goodwin, Meza, Dittmer, Pappas, Bullock. Your top 20. That's the 18. And then, of course, Christopher McCullough. And there you go, Jason. You got the rest of the finish there from the top 20. Oh, I can't pull it up anymore. Steven, you got the timing and scoring for the finishing order?
They're still trying to finish.
And 20th is Christopher McCullough.
They're still trying to finish.
Justin, let's see, where did I go? Oh, here
Lumpkin,
we go.
Justin
Lumpkin in 21st, James Kaufman, 22nd, and 23rd was Jeffrey Johnson. 24th, Cody Knott. 25th, Ron Harris Jr., followed by Chris Cinnamon, Craig Schroeder, Taylor Peacock, Fred Lester, Robert Richards, Brian Chu, and Jason Morales.
Stay with us. Post-race is next. We're going to grab Weatherholt, Hendrickson, and Cofield. It's going to be a fun one. Stay with us. Circuit of the Americas, the ButtKicker 175, the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series playoffs rolls in to next week in Richmond. Final race in the round of 20. But we know now the Indiana driver is moving in to the Fast 14. Back in a moment from COTA.
It looks like a team meet.
Back here at Circuit of the Americas, and we welcome you to our post-race wrap-up show presented by NRE Power Systems. Let's go to Victory Lane and grab the Monticello, Indiana driver, the man out of the Hoosier State. He is moving into the Fast 14 first points playoff driver to win as well in, of course, the playoffs. That is Colin Weatherholt. Colin, what a year, man, you're having. Automatically put P1 with a win sticker and on to the next round. Are you thinking championship right now, or is there just still a long way to go, bud? But it looks like you are the Pied Piper in this series. How's that feel?
Well, it feels good so far. There's a round or two in there that I think maybe the round of 10 looks like it could be a little iffy, but to make it into the championship 6, but feels good so far. I'm definitely thinking Homestead, but trying not to get too far ahead of myself. Still got to put in the work each and every week. I'm pretty new to the playoff stuff, so we'll see how it plays out.
Hey, Colin, this is my first season broadcasting, and you've just been dominant all season. And then again tonight, you took stage 1, stage 2, and the checkered flag. How much do you attribute that to that Premier Racing setup that you have?
Well, yeah, definitely the setup works really well. I mean, tire falls off really nicely too, and everybody's dealing with the same thing, so it all ends up really working out, I think. But yeah, the setups this year have been a lot of fun to play with, and just getting what we can right on our side with the steering ratios and steering offsets, but really just always looking at tire wear and making sure that we're all good to go on that.
I'll tell you what, Colin, do you feel like this was definitely a major test to try to figure out and achieve and conquer? And obviously you did that, but road course racing is definitely a completely different animal than running the short tracks like next week at Richmond or even the big intermediate speedways, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think there's a lot more crossover to the road courses and the short tracks than there are to the intermediates. The intermediates are just so aero dependent, and the road courses and short tracks aren't quite so bad. So it's a lot of just keeping your right foot in check and not spinning the tires too much, which hopefully some of the road course expertise that I have will carry over to the short track next week.
Well, Bud, before I let you go, thank your sponsors. Congratulations on to the next round of the Fast 14, and of course, we'll see what you can do at Richmond.
Yeah. Big thanks to Jason over at Highline Racing and all my teammates, Cole and Cofield tonight was our honorary teammate again, and it's nice to have these guys in the Discord and being able to chat and play nice with each other. So thanks, guys.
There you go. Colin Weatherholt, Highline Racing, by the way, 1, 2, and 3 in the hat trick when tonight's race ended here at the ButtKicker 175. Let's grab Cole Hendrickson. Cole, man, you had some thrills, some spiels, some chills. And, boy, we're looking at some of the highlights of 3 and 4 and 5 wide on some of the restarts here tonight at COTA. But, man, you come back and you put that number 10 truck in second spot for Highline Racing. You're taking this race tonight, buddy.
Yeah, it was a tough one. So I just didn't get much time at all really to test. The night that I sat aside for testing, I got invited out to go do something, and so I came into this with 0 practice laps until the practice session opened. But luckily, I do have quite a few laps around this place, so that helped. It wasn't, the laps were in high downforce cars, so it's totally different. But man, it's tough. It was so hard to get up through that field. I had to start on the tail tonight from an EOL, and man, it's really hard to just stay right on the back bumper of somebody, especially if they're running a different pace than you. You're so used to hitting, that line in the pace that you normally run. And I almost took a few guys out, but luckily I did not. No pass-through penalty for me, so ended up pretty good. I think scored points in both stages and finished second. So that's what we needed for the playoffs with a DNF last week.
Yeah, Cole, we were watching you tonight come back up. You were started 20th, slowly worked your way up, and had a few close calls even. How do you feel it went overall?
Yeah, no, like I said, it was just trying to keep my nose clean. There was one incident over in I can't even tell you what corner. It's the tight hairpin there before the back straightaway that I think it was like a group of 5 trucks where we kind of all stacked up, and I got some fender damage, and I don't really think it affected me. It might have affected my straight line speed just a hair, but it didn't really affect the handling at all. So It was fun though. It's definitely a lot. It's more stressful, but it's definitely a lot more fun to come through the field and have something to work towards the whole race. So I know I just feel so bad for Colin driving out there all by his lonesome. It just must get so boring.
So, Cole, final question. Thank your sponsors as well. What's it going to take to get it done at Richmond, or do you feel like you've done enough points wise that you could possibly transfer?
I mean, you don't ever feel like you did enough. You always want to go in and score points. So I think that's just the goal next week: stage points and finish well and stay out of trouble. So, but as far as people I got to thank, first off, Jason with Highline. I think we're all hoping and praying his bad luck streak will snap soon. And my teammates as well, Colin and Jonathan. It was fun working with them tonight, get a 1-2-3 finish. And especially with Colin, he's always sending tips on these road courses. And he's a good guy to learn from, that's for sure. So Adams County Speedway, we just had our last race last weekend. Big late model show. So kind of sad the race season's over, but now we get to take a break. 101 Designs, that's my wrap company. R1 Works, they're RC Motors, XL Streaming on Twitch, Bad Fast Hobbies, Hillbilly Custom Baits, and you guys for the broadcast. Like I say, every time I'm in here, it's always great to go back and watch.
There you go. There's Cole Hendrickson. He'll finish in the number 2 position again. Highline Racing 1, 2, and 3 when this race ends. And let's grab a good solid run. Jonathan Cofield, kind of a team member or a partner, if you will, of Highline Racing is what Jason was telling us. And man, Jonathan, I want to say this is probably the first time we've ever had you on the podium for post-race interviews, man. Good solid run here at the road course at Coda. You finished in the top 3. You're taking this race tonight, bud.
It wasn't too bad. I'm not a road course racer like Colin or Cole is, but I've run this is probably the funnest road course. I've run this one a time or two. I really don't care for Watkins Glen or Sonoma or anything like that, but yeah, it started 3rd and finished 3rd. Can't get no better than that.
Steven.
Sorry, there's something going on with the kid. I got to go check him real quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, though, Jonathan, I'll ask you a question, segue to thanking your sponsors, because we are coming up on the top of the hour, and I have another broadcast obligation. 3 broadcasts in one day, back to back to back. I'm a glutton for punishment. But anyhow, Jonathan, what do you take from this that you can prepare for maybe the short track race at Richmond? I know it's a short track road course, totally 2 different animals, but man, I would say probably this was one of the best drives you've had in a while, just racing yourself on the track, man. So yeah, what do you attribute it to, and what's your thoughts going into Richmond for next week?
I think I finished 2nd a few weeks ago, but no, I'm just trying to stay out of the playoff guys' way. They let me in the season kind of late, so I'm just out here having fun, getting to know some guys. Like I said, appreciate HLR for letting me come in, just hang out with them, give me somebody to talk to, so the race ain't so boring.
There you go, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Mumford, Alabama driver, Jonathan Cofield. His Chevrolet will finish in 3rd. By the way, Highline Racing, Weatherholt, Hendrickson, Cofield, as Jason Morales kind of hinted on before he signed off. Again, 1, 2, and 3. At the end of the night, Gregory Tribune top 5, and this is definitely going to shake up the points, no doubt, as we move in to next week. Richmond Raceway, we're short track racing. We got Daytona tomorrow night, the first points race of the NASRA Blanchard's Towing Xfinity Series in season number 3. We've got, of course, the duels for the NASRA Cup Series, Goat Locker Racing Arca Thunder on Thursday, and the Concerns of Police Survivors NASRA Truck Series on Friday night. Hit that like and subscribe. Hit the bell to know when we go live for all 5 nights of action. Always 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 Central on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Again, apologies for being late. Had a football broadcast I had to do, but I always enjoy the last hour or so being able to call the race in action with our great people. Thanks always, of course, to the folks behind NASRA, including Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott. Race director was TJ Moore. 4, Biggles, Dean Hopton, producer, director, and announcer for Mr. Jason Morales and the Viking Stephen Bartlett. This is Wesley Outland, thanking you and yours for joining us tonight at Circuit of the Americas, as tonight Colin Weatherholt punches his ticket into the Fast 14 by dominating on the road course in the ButtKicker 175. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of your night.